All right. So today I spent time on course 1, day 2 of the regatta. I'm going to talk briefly about the conditions. It was a little bit different than yesterday. Very interesting racing today. It was, as we heard in the forecast in the morning, we expected a shifty and unstable breeze. So the forecast was pretty accurate. And on course 1, we have shifty breeze with a range, a big range from 160 to 210. It was puffy, there were holes, puffs, and then towards the end of the day, the wind increased. The range was from 6 to 12 knots or more. It was an increasing even current going out. At the beginning of the first race, the race committee was still sideways to the current, but even during sequence, very quickly turn around and point into the current. The current was going upwind on the course, very strong, and there was a current line across the axis in the middle top of the course. And the other feature that was interesting today was great to have Shay in the boat, our weatherman. We have cumulus clouds forming a street over the shore here, looking at the water here on the right-hand side. They're not here now anymore. The race committee did a great job squaring the course to the breeze, to the shifty conditions and stability, and the line, the starting line, the axis of the course, the top mark, and the gate were all squared to 200. So a really good job giving sailors the opportunity to race a fair race, first day. So what do I think as a coach in a day like today, before going out? You know, knowing the conditions, seeing what I'm seeing on the water, I'm thinking, is this going to be an open course, or is it going to be a race that I need to play one side? It's a race knowing there is a strong current and light breeze. Is today the race I'm going to race? Is a wind race or is it a current race? Which one is going to be the prevailing factor? That's the thinking before the race. And there's no right or wrong answer until it's wrong, you know? So, but that's the thinking process. If it's not going to be an open course, basically you need flexibility, you need to play shifts, you need to sail fast, you need clear lane, clear wind. But if it's going to be a race to go to one side, like we experienced yesterday in course 2, it's different. You know, you need to be have more conviction, and you need to be better at executing. Once you need to go to one side, you need to decide if you want to lead the group to that side or if you want to go on top of that group. It's more like forward thinking. Once you get to that side, how you want to get out of that side, leading them back or outside of them. So that's kind of the thinking process and the mentality. When you want to go to one side, I think that was the case today in course 2. It was different for sure. I was not in course 2 only for a few minutes. But I think in course 2, the conditions were completely different than course 1, even if we were almost overlapped on ley lines. When you need to play one side, the line bias is very, very important. So it's required to do the homework and be disciplined. You need to know how long is the line, because the longer the line, the more you can gain or lose. And how long is the leg as well. You know, if one side is stronger and it's a very long line, long leg, the gains are bigger or the losses are greater. And then you need to understand your risk management. Well, I did talk very briefly this morning on the weather forecast, on the weather briefing. It's very important in days like today to match your strategy with your confidence level. So what I should share is a little bit of a mindset going into the race, how I think about it. And then it's very important that if I'm confident, I'm going to go for it. And if I'm not, I understand that my confidence medium, this is the information I have, and this is my plan based on that information. So we're going to go and look at some videos Some really good moves, some not so sexy moves that happened today. Here you can see, I hope you can see clearly, this is from the right side of the course. Obviously it's a drone, and you can see the current line across the course. Very important feature today, and you can see the tagging angles of people going on port tag on to the right, and on the right of the axis, and people on the left. Very big difference, but still, it's an open course, and you can see that different than yesterday, was not a parade to one side. This is a video, I'm gonna play it quickly. You can see a difference in angles. It was a very tricky day, excellent for racing. If you're all into the speed and fine trimming, it was not quite that day. It was more about playing a chess game. But very clear color water difference there on the tie line. Okay. Okay. So race 1. Today was interesting because the 3 races, I was not ready for race 4. I wanted to come home and get this ready for you. So I missed race 4. Sorry about that. But one thing that was interesting is the 3 races today in course 1 were different. So it was a little different approach on each race. The first one, I believe it was an open course. I believe it was important to think about being on the lifted tag, in upwind right away, obviously in a header tag coming downwind. Look for pressure, especially in downwind. We're going to look at some videos, and hopefully you can see the pressure coming down. The videos are pretty good on showing that. And another feature of race 1 was that the second lap, this is the time that the wind got really light today. It was 4 to 6 knots. So we saw and experienced a huge separation in downwind, which creates a lot of opportunities. And another thing to pay attention, and this is what I really focus as a coach this weekend, is to find opportunities for people in the middle of the fleet. How do you get out of the middle of the fleet? Where the opportunities lie? At the bottom of the course, we're going to see on the video, this is start, but we're going to see at the bottom of the course how people get slow. So here's the start of race 1 for the VX fleet. Obviously in the bottom, here this bottom group with the current going upwind are in trouble. These 2 boats here have plenty of space that I miss, low density towards the pin. And look at that boat towards the pin with no traffic, acceleration, tack into a lifted tack, not being pressured by anybody. And in a few minutes, it's going to be leading the race. Again, a lot of boats now in second row miss the opportunity to think about what kind of race it is. It's an open course, and the lifted tack is in port. So the right move will be to find a low density start to sail in clear wind for the first 2 or 3 minutes of the race. This video is about 3 minutes. I might fast forward a little bit. Control E. Another feature is very common in racing is those teams that are sailing fast in the first 2 or 3 minutes, they break a little bit free of the pack, and then they have options, especially in an open course like this one. I'm gonna let it play a little bit so you can enjoy what happened there. Again, the shots crossed the tie line, and you can see the difference in angles and in pressure. It was very shifty and puffy. Big range in velocity, up and down, and wind direction left and right. Guys, you told me this was going to happen.
Let's press the next arrow. That's the next slide.
Okay. I don't have the Control L. No. Control P.
Control P again.
I want to fast forward here we are. Okay, I put this clip here not really to talk about tactics or the racing part. It's more about the conditions. I want you to pay attention. If you can see, usually in the computer it's easier to see, but the pressure coming from shore, it went over shore, over those trees, touched down, bounced up and down a little bit, and then cover the course, travel down in the course, and make it very interesting and tricky. You can see in the top, the pressure coming down, and it's a little bit left of the axis, and you can see how it's traveling down all that path. So when you're racing in days like today, have someone in the road always looking back for that pressure because it's coming at you. And the opportunities are usually for the people behind to get that pressure first and decide what to do with that. I don't know if you can see the pressure. I'm gonna do it quickly again. Look at the band of pressure coming from the top of the screen. I know you're having fun with the gate, but I have another really good video coming up. The race 2 was a little different because the race 2 was, the wind was in a steadier left face, a little tricky for the race committee. And people that was aware of it have an early game, start on the pin, have an early game tacking into port, and then play the shift towards the middle, and then covering the fleet. And I was thinking a lot in this race about how many guys in the downwind, especially at the bottom of the leg, when it gets really tricky. Here's the start of the J24 fleet that people they got caught late in understanding the shift that happened in the last minute. That's 15 seconds to go, and a lot of people were caught late. One boat there is already on port tag, and then decides to tag. That was another mistake. Maybe it was going to be over. A great move by one boat, understanding the line bias, the longer tag, and this was a long face. It was different, a little bit different than the first one. The race 3, now it was completely different. This is max even. The wind was in the max left phase of the day, at least until race 3. I didn't see race 4. The pin was very crowded. Now that people are aware, now you have more people going for it. It was clearly a race that you needed to be on an early tag to port, get lifted, and then play from there. And we're going to look at a video on downwind. Where I was talking about the conditions, we're going to look at a similar video coming into a gate, and we're going to find the best move of the day. So here's the start. For those in the middle of the fleet, in this situation, always look for high density areas. Try to avoid them if your confidence is not high. Go on the pin, got caught on the line. There's areas of low density that people in the third row or second row in bad wind should go for it next time. Great racing. I'm gonna let it play for you to enjoy it. You will see some people coming late in Portac. They are taking turns. They get a little bit lifted, but they're gonna find a little bit of space. Very tricky racing, again, shifty and everything, but this was a very strong left face. Also, these boats are running into no water almost. So I need to tack quickly. You can see quickly how the first line of boats are sailing faster in clear wind, while others are struggling. Here's a moment for all those boats to think about, where's my clear lane of breeze? Am I sailing the longer tack? Am I going to the favored side? There's no shame in asking those questions and quickly reassess your situation and making a move. You have two options here, keep going fast or tack. And if you're suffering, change something. This is a little bit how it played out towards the end. A lot of people travel, sail to the left side of the axis. Okay. Again, gas. Very quickly, by the start of the J24s, the wind went a little more left, and the tide was in max Evan right now, and people didn't realize that very quickly, when you're in starboard tack in those conditions with a max left and max Evan, every time you're in starboard, you're running out of space. Very quickly, you get forced into the port tack ley line, and the more you stay in starboard tack, the worse it gets at the end. And a lot of people got caught overlaying, coming from the left. All right, we're getting to the end, and this is the move of the day. And I want you to pay attention, as we saw before, coming to the gate, light breeze, a huge separation from left to right in the downwind for the fleet. The pressure is coming down, it's traveling fast through the course. And I want you to pay attention to this boat with a white, let me see. This boat with a white kite is clearly behind all these boats here. And this is a move of the day. And remember, it's very common in racing, in these classes, symmetrical spinning in these conditions, that as you get closer to the bottom, it gets lighter, and the fleet collectively gets lower. And they start sailing the wrong BMG. And sometimes out of necessity because you're in traffic. But let's focus on the move of that white kite. And remember, there's always opportunities to pass. Pay attention, because it's clearly in the ladder run, it's way behind all these boats with blue kites, black kites, white and red. So he jives. Usually you don't want to do too many maneuvers at the bottom, but he jives. It's actually sailing parallel to the gate, but the pressure is coming down. And there's a lot of current right now going upwind. Everybody's traveling in the gate and getting close to each other and really, really slow. Now the white kite comes to the side, shies back. It's gonna get sailing to pressure. You see the white and red kite is sailing faster in pressure. accelerates, stays a high angle, it's going to put the bow down in pressure. And look at all that fleet getting really slow, really close to each other. More pressure coming down. Obviously, the boats behind get it first. And here's a moment where it's pretty much now tied with 10, 11 boats that was ahead of them. It stays in clear wind. And it waits a little longer to drop the kite. And he gains about 10 positions. So it's never over. And this happened today also. We don't have enough time to look at all the videos, but also happened at the finish line. Many, many times, and always expect the same. Live reads, it gets lighter at the bottom. People say they run BMG out of necessity. They get slow, and you have opportunities. I'm gonna play it a little bit. Ouch. Guys, can you help me with the cursor? Huh?
Control L.
Control L is, oh, okay. So let's take a look at, again, I'm gonna play a little faster. Look at the white kite coming on the right side of that group. One jive, away from the gate. Another one. Here's where everybody gets really slow. The pressure is coming down. It's a crossbows. And that's the move of the day. Congratulations, whoever that team was. Excellent job. There's always an opportunity. Really? A 49er sailor. Excellent. Thank you. You gave me an opportunity to talk for 30 seconds. I work with the Olympic program, and we're working really hard to provide opportunities for our young talent. And today, Team USA won 3 medals in the Olympic week in France, a gold in the Formula Kite, and 2 silver medals in the female and men 49er classes. So we're turning the team around, we're working hard, and a lot of people here are supporting us, so we really appreciate it, and the sailors certainly feel your support. Thank you, everybody. Round 2 of drinks now. I think we're doing the pro-am now. I think I'm racing. I'm excited, finally. And good luck tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow.